Yo, good afternoon, freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building, y'all. What is good? Hope you guys are having a wonderful fake New Year's Eve. Salute to my brother Coach Hudson in the building. Salute to the comrade. Yes, and Varsity, salute to you. Hope you guys are having a great fake New Year's Eve, y'all. Yep, I'm one of those people. Yes, I am. I stand on it. We're in the dead of winter, and spring means new. So, I'm going to stick with that. Anyway, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing good. I was supposed to do this days ago, but, I've been working. I work from home, but, I've been putting in hours because why not? It's a lot easier to do when you work from the house. So, anyway, I wanted to touch on this monster Naoya Inoue situation, all right? And it's a situation that has to be addressed in the realest way possible. That's the only way I address these type of issues. And so that's what this channel is about. My channel is about truth and freedom to speak the truth no matter what. That's what I stand on. I've been standing on that. That's what my channel is about. You guys can go back all the way to 2018, 2019. That's how I carry it. And it's no different with this, in the sport of boxing, because I love the sport of boxing so much. I enjoy watching it, and more so than watching it, I enjoy being a practitioner. So I don't just watch boxing. I actually practice boxing. I like to do it. I box in my spare time. And so I enjoy watching the sport. I enjoy the sweet science. And I enjoy an even playing field when it comes to competing with another individual in the sport of boxing, where people are putting their lives on the line, right? People are putting their lives on the line when they step in the ring, even when there's an even playing field. People die in the ring. Salute to the Queen, Clarissa Shields, who brought this up. She talked about it. She's one of the only boxers that I'm aware of that actually talked about the statistics behind deaths in the sport of boxing. Listen, boxing is a sport, but it's not a game. It's a sport, but it's not a game. So even before you get in the ring, you're going through rigorous training. You're going through training camp, right? And if you have to cut weight to meet your obligated weigh-in amount, you are putting yourself through even more rigorous conditions to meet that. Salute to brother Reef in the building. Salute to you. Salute to D-Man Jr. Salute to you, brother. So even before you step in the ring, you are putting yourself through grueling training. You are cutting weight. You are dehydrating yourself. You are going on a calorie deficit. This is what many fighters do. If you're not a heavyweight, if you're not in the heavyweight division, and you're not fighting close to, if you're not fighting close to your walk around weight, this is what you do, period. And so you have that. And when you cut weight, and when you drain yourself, when you dehydrate yourself, and your brain becomes dehydrated, this makes you more susceptible to brain injuries, up to and including death. So you are putting yourself in certain conditions, in certain scenarios where you are likely to die. You are more likely to die than not. Period. So when you get in the ring and you're getting hit upside the head, you are increasing your chances of death. So when you throw in performance enhancing drugs, when you throw in plaster hands. When you're throwing double, triple stacking, you are increasing that likelihood many-fold. Many-fold. Does that mean every time you step in the ring with a fucking cheat, you're going to die? No, but that's not the point, is it? The point is that it's a possibility. You are increasing the chances. Naoya Inoue. First, I'd like to talk about some of the misconceptions. People say that stacking is legal in Japan. But as far as I can tell from the research I've done, there's nothing that says you can double and triple stack, right? Meaning putting tape on your skin, then gauze, then tape, all that other type of shit, which when the sweat mixes with the adhesive and the tape itself, it creates a cast. That's why you put gauze in between. There's nothing that as far, and this is, I have asked someone in the sport who has competed in Japan, someone on that team, they couldn't find anything that said they could stack as well. There's nothing in there. So to say it's legal, you know, that is really a gray area when it comes to shit in Japan, right? Like, no one can even tell us if you're allowed to drug test or not, or take drugs or not, right? Hell, you ask Brian Norman Sr., he can't even tell you if you get tested in Japan or not. And his son fucking fought out there. So, to say that it's legal in Japan, and you use that as a reason to justify Naoya cheating and trying to cheat in Saudi Arabia is asinine. Point blank and period. Because what you're saying is that these fighters who have competed in the sport damn near all their life, who have teams of people around them that are supposed to have this knowledge, you're saying, oh, well, they didn't know. Oh, they didn't know. His team didn't know. Excuse me? His team didn't know that double stacking is not allowed in Saudi Arabia? He didn't know that? They didn't know that they do drug testing? Well, is that what you're saying? I find that extremely hard to believe. What I think happened is that they tried to get away with it and got fucking caught. And now they want to feign ignorance. Oh, you saw Naoya Inoue's face, right? Oh? Oh? No, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Miss me with the bullshit. Straight up and down, in and out. Salute to the Queen, Black Spring with Autumn. Salute to you. Thank you for coming through. Am I still buffering, y'all? Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie, if you guys can. Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie if you guys can hear me. Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie. I live close to the sticks, but I don't live in the fucking sticks. Thank you, Black Spring with Autumn and Queen Sister Cameron in the building. Salute to the brother Coach Hudson. Thank you, guys. He fucking tried to cheat. He tried to cheat. Point blank and period. And when he got caught, they tried to act dumbfounded. Oh, what was it? Oh, what? What was it? Get the fuck out of here. You expect me to believe that? That these fighters don't have knowledge? When he goes to fucking America to fight, he knows he's not supposed to fucking double stack. But Saudi Arabia, he doesn't fucking know. All the excuses that are being made for Naoya Inoue having a huge advantage throughout his entire career is wild. There's a reason he chooses to fight in Japan most of the time, right? When you take away the augmentation of the reps, you're taking away the advantage to a certain degree. Now, am I saying Naoya Inoue can't fight? No, he's pretty damn good. Great punch placement, you know what I'm saying? Athletic. His punch placement is beautiful. I will say that he's very accurate, great punch placement. He knows how to punch, right? But if you don't think there's an advantage to stacking, you wild and not you wilding. And I will say I'm surprised by some people who are allowing this excuse to presenting this justification. And even with the drug cheating, the stacking, right? Number one, he didn't fight in Japan when he got caught. He fought in Saudi Arabia. So saying that, well, that's what they do in Japan, that is a non-starter. It's not relevant at all. We're not in fucking Japan. We're in Saudi Arabia. So why are we talking about what they do it? No, what? You're not in Japan. Picasso wasn't fighting him in Japan. He's fighting him in fucking Saudi Arabia. So why are we saying, if you use drugs too then, or you use raps too then? No, we're not talking about we're talking about Saudi Arabia right now. We're talking about Saudi Arabia. And yes, do fighters go to Japan and fight Naoya Inoue and Jin Sasaki and Nakatani and the last guy Picasso fought? He fought a Japanese guy, but he didn't fight him in Japan. He fought him in America. I forgot his name, Kamada or something like that. I'm not rolling with that. No. Now, yes, you go to Japan, you understand, like Stephen Fulton did, like Nonito Donaire, you know that they're going to be playing some games. As a matter of fact, Nonito just fought in Japan, and they robbed him. And he lumped old boy up like it was nobody's business. But nonetheless, he went to Japan to fight. He understands the game out there. But here is the issue with that even. Boxing, when you fighting in these sensation bodies, if you're fighting in the sensation bodies, and it's a worldwide sport. It's a worldwide sport. So now, instead of saying, well, if you go to Japan, just stack and use drugs, instead of saying that, instead of just being all cavalier about it, because when you stack, you're increasing the likelihood that your opponent will die. If you use performance enhancing drugs on top of that, you are increasing that even more. So why would you want to increase the chances? Why are we saying, well, if you go to Japan and fight, you might as well just stack and use performance enhancing drugs? Brother Reed says 3 consecutive fights Inoue hasn't had a stoppage or KO because he has, yeah. It adds an advantage. It augments his punching power. That is simply the facts. Now, seeing as how boxing is a worldwide sport, then maybe we should be talking about, instead of allowing Japanese fighters to get away with stacking and using performance enhancing drugs, how about we say, you know what? If you want your fighters to compete in the WBC, in the IBF, or the WBA, well, they have to follow a universal set of rules. A universal set of rules that says you cannot use performance enhancing drugs and you cannot double stack. You cannot rap. You cannot cheat. How about, instead of allowing cheating to happen in certain countries with certain fighters, you create blanket rules and blanket regulations that stops every fighter that competes in your sanctioning body from doing so? Doesn't Naoya Inoue have 4 belts? Isn't he a lineal champion? Flame Warrior Golden says, oh, God bless you, repent, and okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for looking out for my soul. Thank you for looking out for my soul. I appreciate you. Now look, so we have to talk about that, do we not? Why do certain fighters in certain countries have certain exceptions? Why do American fighters have to follow these set of rules? Why, instead of saying, oh, well, just allow everybody to use drugs and double stack, which will make the sport more dangerous, wouldn't we want to say, well, we need to make some changes for the entire sport? For anybody that competes in professional boxing at all whatsoever, you can't stack, you can't use performance-enhancing drugs. Instead of saying, well, when you fight in Japan, just use drugs. Okay, let's say, oh, you go use drugs. Well, not everybody responds well to performance-enhancing drugs. You do know that PED users die using performance-enhancing drugs. So we're now encouraging fighters to put drugs in their body so that they can be on the same level as another drug cheat. The wildness, the asininity, it befuddles me. Because think about this. Just this year, shortly after the Jin Nakasaki fight, 2 Japanese fighters died in the same weekend on the same card. 2 Japanese fighters on the same card died in the same weekend from brain injuries. Two Japanese fighters. Now, if we believe that in Japan you can use drugs and stack your hands, and you discover that 2 Japanese fighters die in one weekend on the same card, why would we want to encourage fighters to do what they do in Japan? Simply because they're going to go fight in Japan. Yes, RIP to them, Brother Reef. Absolutely. Brother Reef, why don't you have a wrench? You should have a wrench by now. I thought I gave you one. I want us to think about what we justify in the sport of boxing, because just because you like a certain fighter does not mean that you should justify cheating behavior. Yes, absolutely, Brother Reef. You have to be adamant about drug testing and clean boxing and not tolerate it from anybody. Stacking as well. Because when Margarito got caught by Shane Mosley's team, no one gave Margarito any fucking excuses, right? What my NFL team? Well, the 49ers. 49ers. But I haven't kept up with football, NFL, in quite a while. I have not. I just want us to understand what we're peddling, what we're putting out there in the universe. So that, okay, your favorite fighter, if your favorite fighter gets injured or, God forbid, passes away because he suffered a brain injury or she suffered a brain injury after a fight, and you discover that their opponent was on performance-enhancing drugs, or perhaps even stacked their gloves or stacked their reps, are you going to say, it's okay? They do that in Japan. It's okay in Japan, so whatever. Are you going to separate it? Well, how are we doing this? So if your favorite fighter doesn't die in Japan, you're okay, you're allowed to get mad because it didn't happen in Japan. What if your favorite fighter died in Japan due to a brain injury they suffered fighting a drug cheat and a stack cheat? Are we going to say, it happened in Japan, it's okay? Fuck it. I know this is my favorite fighter and they fucking died in the ring, but it happened in Japan. I don't care. Are we going to compartmentalize our rage? Are we going to say, we can only get mad if a fighter doesn't die in Japan. But if they die in Japan, we can't get mad. You're a 49ers fan from New Zealand? Salute to you. Now, this is a number of people, a lot of people. They love Inoue so much. They want him to be the number one pound for pound so bad that they're willing to overlook stacking and drug cheating. And no one even said Naoya Inoue was a drug cheat. No one said that. But we're going as far as to say drug cheating in Japan and stacking in Japan is okay, because we want to keep Naoya Inoue as a number one pound for pound fighter. And I say, what was it? What are we even saying? Craig Carey asked if someone died boxing. People die boxing all the time. A Nigerian fighter this year has passed away. I covered that death. 2 Japanese fighters died in one weekend. I covered that death. Yeah, I covered a few deaths that happened. A fighter died in the ring, the Nigerian fighter. Now, they tried to say, oh, he wasn't even hit in that fight, but he was hit. Even if you're covering and your glove is glued to your head and you get hit in the glove, you're getting hit. You're still getting hit. That energy is transferring through your glove into your head. If you block with your glove attached to your face, you're still getting hit in the face. It's being blunted slightly, but you're still getting hit. But nonetheless, that Nigerian fighter he got hit numerous times in that fight before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? That fighter, I don't know if they drug cheat. I don't know if there was any drug testing in that fight. But the guy, you could tell something was wrong with him. You can tell that after he got hit in the first round, after a couple seconds, something was off. Something was off. Salute to the brother Drew Titan in the building. Do you know how hard boxers punch? They will unalive you. Absolutely. 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 Not even just a boxer. I don't know if you remember that there was a story where a black dude punched a lady at a gas station and killed her. One punch. So again, yeah, the Nigerian fighter got hit multiple times before he passed away. And even when he was getting hit in the glove, he was still getting rocked. He was still getting rocked. And unfortunately, he passed away. And then the 2 Japanese fighters died in one weekend. And Naoya Inoue, he gets a pass because whatever justification they want to use, I vehemently dismiss it. In my mixed race, why is that important? So just to reiterate, just to explain my position, Naoya Inoue, in my view and in my opinion, is not a number one pound for pound fighter. I don't even have him on, I wouldn't even put him on a pound for pound list because of the fact that he can stack. Just the stacking alone, right? And the idea that a fighter can get away with certain shit simply because they live in a certain country, but they're fighting in a sanctioning body that has fighters that compete worldwide. If it is a worldwide sport, there should be worldwide regulations and rules. We should not be making exceptions for Japanese folks, right? We should not be telling the fighters that go to Japan, that are not used to fighting in Japan, that they can go ahead and stack and use drugs in Japan. That's completely ridiculous. It's asinine. So, number one, a guy like Inoue or other Japanese fighters like Sasaki, whoever, you have to be accustomed to rapping. You got to get accustomed to punching objects with stacked gloves, or you can hurt your hand. So that's number one. So just telling the fighter, well, just go over there and stack. Well, they're not going to be accustomed to stacking. They can hurt themselves. They can hurt. Now they might be able to tell the difference, but guess what? Their hands are going to be fucked up. Most likely, whether stress fractures, breaks, whatever you want, however you want to call it. So your hands are not going to be accustomed to that. So the wise thing is not to tell a fighter to go to Japan and stack and use drugs. No. It is to petition the sanctioning bodies and commissions and have them all get on the same page. Because don't say it's not possible. You have a perfect example. Anybody want to guess what examples we have where a sport where multiple countries have participants? Do we want to give it the Olympics, right? If you participate in the Olympics, everybody, it doesn't matter if you're from Japan, Timbuktu, goddamn Australia, it doesn't matter where you're from. You come compete in these Olympic trials, you come compete in these Olympic games, everybody has to follow the same fucking rules. We don't make exceptions. If you get caught, if a Russian competitor gets caught drug cheating, we don't give a fuck if you can do that in Russia. No, if you compete with other competitors outside of Russia, you got to get right in line with what the worldwide Olympic regulations are. And even when you're not fighting and even if you're not in the Olympics, which is every 4 years, you still have certain sports. They'll have World Cups. They'll still compete every year. Track and field, they still compete. It's just not the Olympics. They still go to these different countries and compete against other nations. And they all have to follow the same rules and regulations. So it's possible. We can say, look here, Japan. Your fighters, if they're going to compete in our sanctioning body, if Inoue is going to have all these belts, then guess what? If he wants to keep them, he can't stack, even in Japan. That's how you carry that. The brother Reed says, he says, remember when the entire Russian boxing team popped dirty? Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. The lunatic libertarian says hand wrapping standard should be easy across the states and countries. Yeah, it should be. Even in the United States, they have different. Like why in New York you can have so much Ostarine and in another state you can't? They need to get this shit together. You know what I'm saying? The lunatic libertarian says supplementation should be banned. I don't agree with that. Brittany said, salute to you. Salute to Brittany said. Salute to Queen Brittany said. The lunatic libertarian, what do you mean supplements should be banned? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't agree. Because some people need supplementation, right? Like black folks in the winter. Not even black folks in the winter. Black folks in the northern hemisphere should be supplementing with vitamin D. They should be taking vitamin D supplementation. They're not going to get enough in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere. So if they take vitamin D supplementation, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a necessity, right? I don't agree with that, but I mean, hey, supplementation should not be banned. But not the point is we should not Naoya Inoue, especially if we're trying to consider him number one pound for pound, and you have other fighters that are out there doing 24/7 drug testing. 24/7. The only fighter in the world enrolled in 24/7 VADA testing. So you know, at any point during the year, it could be 3 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. You know that fighter is going to get tested randomly, and you know if that fighter passed that test each and every time, you know he's clean year round. But someone like Naoya Inoue, when he's fighting in Japan, we don't know what the fuck he's doing. We know he's going to stack. We know that for a fact. I don't care if other Japanese fighters are stacking too. I don't care. Right? I don't care. The lunatic libertarian, hold on. Coach B. Hudson says they need a congressional hearing to enforce the rebuild of these systems failing fighters. Absolutely. There should be no cavalierness whatsoever when a fighter pops dirty or gets caught stacking or trying to plasterize their hands. There should be no, I don't give a fuck how they fight. I don't care if they are the most dazzling fighters. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if they'll still put on a clinic without the wraps. I don't care. Don't care. The lunatic libertarian says natural dieting has everything you need. UV lighting handles vitamin D. But that's supplementation, lunatic libertarian. Do you know that, right? UV lighting is supplementation. See, supplementation is taking in something that you can't take in naturally to supplement the things that you're lacking in. So if you don't have enough sunlight in the northern hemisphere year round, right? Because black folks don't absorb vitamin D through food like white folks. Did you know that? So white folks in the northern hemisphere can eat food that will give them the supplementation, they give them the vitamin D they need. But black folks, it don't work like that for black folks. Well, if you're using UV lighting, it is artificial. UV lighting is artificial because you're using a lamp, right? A UV lamp, that's artificial light. But if you take a vitamin D supplement derived from natural foods, and the vitamin D is in a fat, which makes it more absorbent by the human body, that vitamin D can come from natural sources. But UV lighting is not natural. Okay, so the lunatic libertarian, I just said that in the northern hemisphere, there's not enough UV from the sun. Year round, for black folks, there is not enough UV light in the northern hemisphere for black folks to get the vitamin D they need year round. So especially during winter months, black folks should be taking vitamin D supplementation, whether it's in a capsule form or UV lighting, which is not natural. But the vitamin T, like say you take a vitamin D, it comes from whatever natural source, it's still natural, it's just concentrated and is made more absorbent, right? So that your body can take it in more readily, right? Exactly. Brittany says in the north, we don't get sun in the winter months. Exactly. So you need vitamin D supplementation. And like I said, white folks absorb vitamin D more readily from natural foods, from whole foods, whereas black folks don't. So they might need to take concentrated, supplemented doses of vitamin D to get what they need. To get the IUs they need, you need, I think, 5,000 IUs a day, something like that. 5,000 international units. I take vitamin D supplementation. You can change your camp location. So fighters, so you're saying, and your position is that boxers should not be allowed to take vitamin D supplementation. They should take their asses, to Costa Rica and train in Costa Rica? Or should they be allowed to train where it's high altitude to improve their cardiovascular system so that they have a good gas tank in the ring? What's hyperbole? It's not hyperbole at all. Brittany says white too. If you're, yeah. I mean, they should, but yes, white folks do need to take supplementation. Get more of that. They get more vitamin D through the food. Their body absorbs it. It has to do something to do with the melanin. So I'm probably 3/4 of the way there. Living at altitude, then moving to sea level and training is actually better. Not if you live at sea level. If you live year-round sea level and train in higher altitudes during training, that's better. Right? You're conditioning yourself. It depends on where you're fighting too. Listen, you're moving the goalpost. Thank you, William Cawley. Salute to you. Yes, hit the like button, y'all. The point is that supplementation is perfectly fine. Creatine, vitamin D, vitamin C, anything that you're lacking in and you want to take a concentrated dose for your health is perfectly fine. Salute to Lit House. Salam, brother. Salam. But stacking your hands and taking performance-enhancing drugs that give you supra-physiological advantages. Now, understand what I'm saying. Supra-physiological. Meaning that drug will take you beyond your natural set point. Your natural set point. Something that you can achieve naturally. Anything that gives physiological advantages in that area should not be able to be taken, right? Vitamin D will not get you that. Vitamin D supplementation won't do that. Creatine won't do that, right? Creatine won't do it. What else? There are a number of supplements that you can take. There are things that you can take to get Korean red ginseng. It gives you it boosts your nitrous oxide, right? Which helps with your cardiovascular system. I take Korean red ginseng, but guess what? It's not going to make me run 100 in 9 seconds. It's not going to make me make a run 109 seconds. So if I run 100 meters, let's say 13, 14 seconds, it might, if I take it at a certain time, I might run 100 meters instead of 14 seconds. I might do 13.9. But that's not super physiological. But if I take a drug that I don't even know which one I would use for that would improve, because if you're sprinting, you can take a steroid or whatever. It might bring me, after a few months or a few weeks of training, I might do a 12. I might shave a second or two off. That's supra physiological, right? Whereas improving my time by a millisecond in a few weeks or a month or two, that's not super physiological. Anything that takes you beyond your genetic set point, your natural genetic set point, is a performance enhancing drug, right? That's what I'm talking about. I don't agree with supplementation. I don't consider supplementation performance enhancing at all. I think it just brings you closer to your genetic set point, right? Like betaine, not betaine. What is that one? Beta alanine. Beta alanine buffers lactic acid so that it improves your muscular endurance, right? It blocks the lactic acid and allows you to push a little harder. That's all it does. The lunatic libertarian says, my point is these fighters use excuse. Oh, that's different. Contaminated drugs? No, that's different. If they're saying their supplements are contaminated, they're responsible for knowing what they put in their body. They get paid at a certain level in the sport. You get paid a certain amount of money. So you need to be a lot more diligent about what you put. If you're going to take a supplement, you have to list your supplements. That's why they allow you to list your supplements. So that, okay, I'm taking this, this, and this. So if you do pop dirty and you give them the list, they can go and take that lot number and they can go test not all of them. They can test however many in that lot to make sure it's not contaminated. So all you got to do is tell them what your supplements are. How to spell Mark Sluti. He says, like the live, commenting to support engagement, respect to the creator in the chat. Salute to you. I appreciate you. Yeah, so I don't have any problem with supplements. But anyway, my point is this. Dismissing drug cheating and excusing drug cheating and rapping to justify having Naoya Inoue at a certain position on a pound for pound list or whatever is dangerous because of what we've already seen. We've already seen it. We've seen an example of how dangerous it can be. So when Ryan Garcia popped dirty against Devin Haney, what was the backlash? The backlash went to Devin Haney, the victim of the drug cheat. Devin Haney got the backlash, not the cheater Ryan Garcia. And what have you seen after that? You've seen a number of fighters more and more popping dirty. And you see less and less outrage. Why? Because we have signaled to the regulating bodies of the sport that we don't really give a shit if someone drug cheats. Yeah, we don't give a fuck. That's what they're telling you. That's what we're signaling to them. Okay, well, if y'all don't give a fuck, we don't give a fuck. We'll give them a 1 month suspicion. Who was it? Jaime Munguia popped dirty for steroids. He received no punishment. So this is why it's dangerous. Now if we say, oh well, Naoya Inoue, he stacks his gloves. Well, look how good he fights. Look, even when he's not stacking, he hits his opponent a lot. Oh, well, look at that. He's still pretty good. Oh, well. But never mind when he stacks, he knocks motherfuckers out. When he don't stack, he don't knock motherfuckers out. We won't put that together. No. Just make sure when you go to Japan, you drug cheat and you stack your hands too. Why should the regulating bodies of the sport give a fuck if we don't give a fuck? See why it's dangerous? Orange Lily for you. Salute to you, Queen. Thank you for coming through. Yes, Lunatic Libertarian says Tito Trinidad, Antonio Margarito, Virgil Ortiz, Manny Pacquiao all had hand wrapping issues. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And guess what happened when they got caught? There's less and less repercussions for cheaters in the sport of boxing. And this is the sport where the more you cheat, the more dangerous it is for your opponent, the more likely they are to die as a result of your cheating. It's not like, okay, old girl, the track star chick, the chick that just popped dirty. She has the white boyfriend. They have a YouTube channel together. I forgot her name. She popped dirty, and she just racing people. Okay, she popped dirty. You shouldn't do it. That's my position. You're racing to somebody. You're a piece of shit. I put an asterisk next to your name as for your entire career. I have to question each and every one of your meets that you excelled so well in. I have to question that. Well, all she's doing is racing a motherfucker. She's not causing harm to anybody but herself. So it's a little different. But in the sport of boxing, when you cheat, you are increasing the chances that you hurt somebody or kill somebody. Maxim Dadashev, yes. I'm not very familiar. It sounds familiar, but yeah. And then the Israeli assassin, didn't he just pop dirty again? Where's the outrage? I mean, I heard Drew Titan talk about it. Drew Titan, the usual suspects, Drew Titan, Stormy B-Man, those individuals, the LDBC. And salute to the mighty LDBC, by the way. Where's the outrage? Yes, Zubrail Matias, all them motherfuckers. But why is the Israeli assassin? Where's the outrage? Where he gave Zab Judah a brain bleed. And if Zab Judah could be dead right now if he did not go to the hospital when he went to the hospital. And if you don't think that stacking your hands could lead to someone dying in the ring, I don't know. I got to question your integrity. Point blank and period. That's how I carry it. So, if you believe that Naoya, Jaime Munguia, Israeli assassin, everybody, all these drug cheats, if you find it somehow, you bring yourself to believe that they don't deserve any level of punishment, or if you want to be cavalier about it, right? Ryan Garcia. I mean, look how many people gave Ryan Garcia a pass simply because they hated Devin Haney. And Ryan Garcia was able to get away with drug cheating and pull all this bullshit, all these antics. And yeah, it led to a 1-year suspension. But now they're trying to tell us, oh, it was because he didn't what's the name? His supplements. Well, you know good and goddamn well that he would not be punished for that if he hadn't popped dirty, right? They're not going to concern themselves with what supplements you're using if you're not a fucking drug cheat. If you didn't cheat, if you weren't popped dirty, they would not be concerned with what supplements you're taking, and they would not punish you for not disclosing your supplements. So these people are fucking crazy. Lieutenant Lawrence, salute to you, brother. But these are the things they try to do, the gymnastics, the Jedi mind tricks they try to pull on a motherfucker to convince you that, well, Devin Haney doesn't deserve any justice for being cheated. Right? Salute to my brother, salute to the Uncle Stormy's B-Man, salute to the Sensei. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Hey, make sure y'all drop your links. Stormy B-Man, Coach B. Hudson, anybody, all you guys, Drew Titan. Make sure y'all drop your links. Y'all go check these brothers out. Very knowledgeable in the sport of boxing. I defer to them. Right? This is not a boxing channel. They have actual boxing channels where they go more in depth in the boxing history. Y'all go check these brothers out. And Luis Resto and Panama Lewis went to prison. As they should. Wait. Yeah. Brother Reed says, oh, and speaking of Japan, there's a boxing promotion, Ryzen, who was going to give Ryan Garcia oh, I remember that, yeah. It only got stopped because, what's his name? Said, oh, hell no. What's his name? his promoter. Oh, fuck. Ryan Garcia's promoter. Oscar De La Hoya. Yes, yes. Y'all go check out these guys, man. Let's check out the Sensei Stormy B, man, and Coach B Hudson. Let's get these guys up. Yes, and Happy New Year to you as well, Stormy B, man. Happy New Year to you as well. I appreciate you guys when you guys come through. Lunatic Libertarian says, Panama Lewis give me the one I mixed. Then Aaron Pryor stopped Alexis Agruel, who signed to the same company. See, that's what they try to do. They try to skirt. They try to go in, and they try to go this country and that country to get away with cheating. It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. What needs to happen is that we need to draw a hard line. These sanctioning bodies won't give a shit if we won't give a shit. But not enough of us give a shit or are vocal enough. Teach lunatics, that's boxing talk right there. Yeah. So that's where we have to draw that hard line. We have to say, I don't want no parts. We need to hold these sanctioning bodies accountable to ensure, and these commissions, to ensure that they all follow the same rules and regulations so that there's no gray area, there's no skirting, there's no, I'm going to just go over here and fight, or I'm going to go over there and fight. No, it needs to be a universal thing where you can't stack, you can't use performance-enhancing drugs. We want to keep the sport as safe as possible. It's not a safe sport. Yeah, lunatic. He was giving you a compliment, lunatic, libertarian. He was giving you a compliment. The unified rules of boxing committee. I don't know. I can't tell you that right now off the top of my head. But there aren't enough universal rules if you can get away with stacking in Japan and using performance-enhancing drugs. Or if you're not getting VADA tested and the commissions in the United States, all the state commissions have different allowable limits, allowable levels of performance-enhancing drugs. That's also a problem. Lieutenant Lawrence says Bam had literal snack on his robe in the sports last fight and never gets mentioned with snack. No, they're only going to mention Devin Haney and Bud. That's all they're going to mention. So the rules, if they're universal, unified rules, there aren't enough of them. There aren't enough unified rules to ensure the maximum safety of the sport in a sport that will never be safe. We need to make it as close to safe as possible. Right? Anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Associated boxing commissions and combative sports already exist. But I'm not saying it doesn't exist. The Association of Boxing Commissions and Combative Sports already exists, but they still allow different limits in different states. Certain states have different stacking rules than other states. Certain states allow more PEDs than other states. So it's not unified enough. Yes, there are loopholes within the rule. Yes. So that unified, it's a non-starter because it's not unified. If it was unified, there would not be different levels in different states. There would not be different wrapping rules in different states. They would all have the same. They would all have the same. And it's not just up to the state commissions. It's also up to the sanctioning bodies. You compete in this sanctioning body, and I know that the sanctioning bodies, they all have unified rules as well. But in the IBF, there is a 10-pound rehydration limit. But there is not the same limit in every other sanctioning body unless you're unifying. Then the IBF allows you to rehydrate however much you want. Thank you, Realize. Yes, hit the like button. Coach B Hudson says, Tank taking a knee, Tyson Fury getting the long count. Yes. Yes, I agree. It's crazy. Boxing has proven to be the most deadliest sport, combat sport on earth, but fighters just need to get over cheating when it's... Exactly. Right? And then you got clowns like Knockoff Pity Pat saying that Devin Haney is suing for fighting. That's the type of bullshit that I'm talking about that we have a problem with in the sport of boxing. Anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the things. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. For as long as you did, the IBF and One Fighting have the best rehydration rules. Yes, depending on... See, that's where it gets kind of iffy for me, right? Yeah, knock off Pity Pat. It gets... Because if you cut down so much weight, and you're only allowed to rehydrate 10 pounds, your brain might not get rehydrated enough, because that's going to be the last thing to be rehydrated is your brain. So, it just depends. I think that when it comes to rehydration, I believe that as long as a fighter makes weight, and it's dangerous. Like I said, it's not a safe sport at all. But if a fighter makes weight, a fighter is cutting his own weight. So when he's going through the rigorous conditions and training and all that to cut weight, he's doing it to himself. It doesn't affect the other fighter. So hey, you want to fight, you want to meet this weight, as long as you make weight, however you got to do it, you might put yourself in danger, but you're doing it to yourself. You understand the dangers in cutting and dehydrating. I feel like if a fighter cuts weight and makes weight with no problem, I don't care what they rehydrate to. That's my opinion. Anyway, thank you guys. Salute. And I appreciate you guys. Have a great New Year. I'm waiting until spring to celebrate New Year's, but that's just me. But I appreciate you guys. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. Go check out Stormy B Man and Coach B Hudson and all my moderators that got channels. But if you want that really good boxing talk, Stormy B Man is on it. He's on point all the time. Coach B Hudson is very knowledgeable as well. So you guys go check those guys out. Guess what we're going to do, y'all? Keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. And be safe tonight. Don't be out there doing nothing stupid now. Peace.